here today to protect life. We are here today to defend those who can't defend themselves. This will represent the most significant protections for life that have been enacted in this state in a generation.
Now, that was Governor DeSantis just 2 weeks ago, signing into law a bill that prohibits abortions after 15 weeks unless the mother's life is at risk or the baby will suffer from a fatal abnormality. Now, that legislation was very important to my next guest. After suffering a stroke when pregnant with her older sister, doctors and her family recommended Congresswoman Kat Cammack's mom have an abortion when she was pregnant with her. Now, the advice didn't sit right with her mom, and she made the courageous decision to go through with a very difficult pregnancy. That decision informed Congresswoman Cammack's position on life, and she's now the leader of the House Pro-Life Caucus. God is good. Also with us is Terry Kellogg, a Florida mom who adopted a little girl named Hope after she survived an attempted abortion at just 10.5 weeks gestation. Unbelievable story. Welcome to both of you. Congresswoman, something that the abortion fight is losing, they think it's losing one for the Republicans. Your response to young voters, especially young women who've been fed so many lies about this issue.
Well, first and foremost, I have to think about the fact that as the youngest Republican woman in Congress today, I stand here basically an abortion survivor and on the cusp of being amongst the generation that is post-Roe v. Wade. Millennials are the pro-life generation, and so that is incredibly important to me. And when I think about how the left has really cornered the market, effectively shadow banning the pro-life movement through big tech, through media, they have had every opportunity to tell the facts and to tell the truth. But they don't have the facts and they don't have the truth. Those of us in the pro-life movement do. We've got science on our side, we've got God on our side, and we will be victorious and end Roe v. Wade in this time.
Terry, your story, Terry, is such a powerful one. When I first read about you and your daughter, I'm a mom of an adopted daughter and 2 adopted sons. Your story was so moving. I mean, I get teared up just thinking about it. Briefly recap why you made the decision you did and why people should pay attention to this issue now.
When we decided that we wanted to adopt, I was going to be a special education teacher, so I was open to special needs children, and I knew that they were hard to place, and that's how I was open to when I heard about Hope and her special needs through this Christian adoption agency. And
you were called to do this.
Yes, it had been placed on my heart, and she's been a blessing. It's been what we know. And it's been difficult, but I mean, being a mother is difficult, period. But the blessings have far outweighed it. And God is, He's just opened doors for us to share our story, which, it takes a lot for someone to understand exactly what happened. And when we share it, like what happened to her head, and we tell people when she was at 10 weeks gestation, like you had said, which would have been about the size of this little baby, first trimester, and that's when her birth mom went and had an abortion and thought it had worked, and it didn't, and she left not knowing she was still pregnant, and then she felt movement.
And then
at 5.5 months, and then she chose life. She chose adoption, and didn't know anything was wrong with her, and then she delivered early, and then they knew they were going to have to place her with a special needs adoption agency.
There are angels on earth walking among us, and I think you are one of them, and Hope is here tonight. Hope, I'm so glad you're here. You're a witness and a living witness to the evils that we can avoid by choosing the right thing. Why is this so important, and why do people need to pay attention to this?
I think because they need to choose life for their child. And even though it may not be easy, they should not choose abortion. They should choose life for their child. Because even for me, I don't know what I was going through until God sent a very special person in my life. And that special person is my mother.
Congresswoman, here's what one Planned Parenthood doctor said about laws such as what Governor DeSantis passed yesterday in Oklahoma, passed a 6-week abortion ban modeled on what Texas did. This is what Planned Parenthood is trying to sell.
And so you're making it so that people of low incomes cannot obtain abortions. And so you're disproportionately controlling people that are Black and brown, like I said, low income. And so a law that disproportionately affects that group of people is a white supremacist law.
So for more Black and brown babies to be born is now, by that logic, racist, Congresswoman?
It's amazing how the left can seemingly spin anything. They perpetuate a culture of victimhood. But we in this room, people across America, know that victimhood is not a virtue, it is a condition. And if they were smart, in particular that doctor who we just heard, they would recognize that Planned Parenthood was founded by someone who championed eugenics. The #1 race that is terminated in this country are Black babies. And the pro-life movement is about empowerment. It's about empowering women. It's about giving a voice to those little girls that are going to be aborted. And that goes for the white little girls, the Black little girls, brown little girls. We don't see color in the pro-life movement. And so it's a real slap in the face to every single person, man and woman, who has championed and advocated the voice of preborn children. It is really a shame. And again, the left knows this is a losing issue because the pro-life movement, we're winning.
Well, and I would say the left would say that Hope was not human.
Yes.
When they attempted to abort Hope. She wasn't human. Human, heart, voice, love.
Yes.
Mother's Day is coming up. I can't think of a better segment that we could have done. And I'm going to start bawling, so we have to get out. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Hope, for speaking out. Thank you, Congresswoman. You are the future of this party, and we really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.